Another day, another nickel. Take it away, Chip. Oh. Yes. Hi guys, my name is Priscilla and welcome back to my channel. So last night, as I was getting ready and I was prepping for dinner, I was looking at some fan edits of Prison Break, which is a phenomenal show, by the way. And I got a text message and I saw that it looks like we are now not going to be getting season 2 of The Acolyte. And basically, all I can really say is that I feel like it's a missed opportunity. I really do, because the way that the finale went, it ended with so many unanswered and opened up questions. The fact that we did not see Qimir and Vernestra meet face to face, I thought that that really was setting up to the point where it just seemed like we would naturally transition into a season 2. You know, we have an amazing character like Qimir, so strong in the force, so capable, and we are now not, at least in live action format, going to be getting training montages between him and Osha. Definitely a major missed opportunity, considering that regardless of whether or not you love the show or like the show or we're in the middle, most people agree that this show has given us some of the best lightsaber battles that we have seen in over a decade at this point. So to kind of squash that is kind of like a moment. And also, it would have been really interesting to see how the Jedi would react to their position or their view in society somewhat changing. Because we know that obviously after some more time progresses, there are going to be more rules and regulations placed on the Jedi. And so that would have been really interesting to see how maybe the Jedi would have pushed back a little bit, trying to have, regain some of their original power. That would have been so cool to see on screen. So you guys probably already know my thoughts and opinion about the show. I overall enjoyed the show. I thought it was good, and I overall really enjoyed the show. However, I can say that I did not think that this series was flawless. I did have issues with the execution of certain things. I did have issues with things like pacing, and I do feel like the dialogue sometimes could have been changed. I do feel like some of the secondary characters were underutilized in certain instances. However, it was not enough to put a damper on me to the point in which I felt like I just could get no enjoyment of the show whatsoever. If you guys watched my last video, you know that I feel like the show executed the theme very well. I feel like the takeaway theme and message of the show was balance, and I also feel like it was duality, and I think the series did a really good job of showcasing that between characters like Qimir, Osha, May, and of course Master Soul as well. I feel like also, again, everyone agrees that the lightsaber battles in this show was just phenomenal to watch. Episode 5 was phenomenal to watch. And then the characters of Qimir. Qimir is one of the most interesting characters that we've gotten in the Star Wars universe as of late. We have a character that is a dark side user. He's very strong in the Force, but he may not actually be a Sith. I don't feel like he's Sith, but obviously he's not a Jedi. He's kind of a rogue person. He's doing his own thing, and he's very powerful, and he's a very cool, mysterious character as well. So there were more than enough things about the show that I liked to make me want to continue to keep watching. I do want to say that if you are someone that went into the show open-minded, you watched it and you just did not like it, that is totally fine as well. I mean, I think that just as human beings, we all have movies that we like that we know that the mass public did not like. We all have songs that we like that we know a lot of people do not like. We all have books and novels that we like that other people mainstream at least did not like, and that's totally fine. That's what having an opinion is for. But it kind of seems like now people are out here acting like they are Sith, where everything is absolute. It's like, if you liked something, oh my gosh, how dare you actually like something? You're a terrible person for liking something. You have no taste. And then if you don't like something, well, oh my gosh, how could you not have liked that thing? It was so incredible, so awesome. And it shows that your character, you must be this and this and this and this and this, when it simply could just be, it just did not resonate with you. And that's fine. That's totally, totally fine. We all know that in the case of The Acolyte, however, that it's very clear that not only was the show review bombed as it was airing, but it was review bombed even before the first episode had came out. And so that just goes to show that you wanted almost the show to be bad, or you wanted it to fail. You wanted it to bomb for, I don't know what possibly the reason could be, especially if you are a fan of the show. You know, if you're a fan of the originals or the sequels or the prequels, or you like it all, or you read the novels and all that type of stuff, I don't necessarily know why someone would want to already trash a TV show that has not even aired. You know, at least watch the show first, at least read the entire book first, and then make your opinion. It would be very crazy to say this book is trash and you never even read the preface. You never even read the back cover. So it's very interesting. But again, everyone is entitled to their opinion. And for the people that, like I said, did not like the show, definitely there's no attack. You know, I'm definitely not attacking them or anything like that. Again, everyone has their own opinions. There are movies that have come out in recent years where the majority of people seem like they really liked it, and I did not like it. And there also have been things where I like something and then you look at the reviews and it seems like a lot of people maybe did not care for that. That's totally fine. And that's art and that's artistic expression. And that's the beauty of having an opinion. But I kind of feel like nowadays, if you are in fact someone that is in production, and let's say you're a director or you're a screenwriter or you're a showrunner or even an actor or an actress, and you're going into a major franchise, it does kind of seem like you are now put in a catch-22 scenario, because you have certain instances where you want to pay homage to the original source material. And so therefore you may try to play it a little bit safe, not take that many creative licenses. And then you'll have people pushing back on you for that, because they'll say, oh, well, this is just a complete rehash of the previous movie or the previous book. This is a complete copy and paste. There is nothing new. There is nothing innovative. You took no creative license at all. And so this is a copy and paste type of scenario. Or something can happen on the flip side, where you do try to be a little different and a little bit more innovative. And then people say, well, you veered too far away from the original source material. Now you've disrespected the fandom and the franchise, and you're terrible. And so it really kind of seems like nowadays you're almost at a catch-22 if you are in fact a creator, because I feel like because of social media, and people at the end of the day know that negativity thrives. Some people, they live for negativity. Some people live to feel triggered. Some people live for having that type of mindset and wanting to feel that way. And so it's just the way things are when it comes to content in general. You know, you can have a few good things about something and no one will want to acknowledge not one good thing about the show. And I'm not just talking about Star Wars, but in general, you can have something that can be a legitimately good aspect of the show, and people are so against it already that they can't even if they think, oh yeah, that aspect of the show actually was pretty good, I actually do think that they did a good job on that, some people can still be like, why, I don't even want to say that because I just want to continue to have that type of negative mindset. So that is, that's just how it is, unfortunately. But I just hope that, in the future, creators don't feel the need to play it safe, because now it seems like if you don't want to be trashed, you have to play it as safe as possible. And again, even if you do that, you might get trashed too. So it's like, oh goodness, what is a person actually supposed to do? I think, honestly, it makes me think of the prequels. I feel like it has only been, just from what I'm seeing, it's only been within the last 10 to 15 years that people are now feeling more okay praising the prequels and saying, you know what, I actually liked Phantom Menace. I actually liked Attack of the Clones. I actually liked Revenge of the Sith. And people feel more confident in saying that now, because back in the day, if you said you liked the prequels, it was like, oh, well, you don't have any taste. You don't know anything about storytelling. You don't know such and such. When again, you can acknowledge that the prequels had flaws and they had problems, but if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it for whatever reason, you did. And that's completely and totally fine. That's okay. It makes me think also about the sequel trilogy with The Force Awakens. I do think that most people consensually did like The Force Awakens, but there were some people that said this is too much of a rehash of A New Hope and they should have done something a little bit more different. And I can understand that. I do think that both of those movies were very similar to each other. However, that did not make me feel as though the movie was bad. I still really enjoyed The Force Awakens. On the flip side, you get to The Last Jedi, where there were definitely some creative licenses that were taken. And then we know without a doubt how divisive that movie really, really was. And so, yeah, it really is kind of like you're in a catch-22, situation. Like, what is it that you're supposed to do? It's just really unfortunate that the Star Wars fandom has kind of again turned Sith. They really have, and this is not everyone, obviously, but it really kind of seems like there's barely any people in the middle. And so many people that may not have grown up with Star Wars. Like I can say I grew up with Star Wars. I grew up watching the originals and I watched the prequels as well. I saw all of the sequel movies in theaters. So, I'm definitely a big fan of Star Wars. But what happens is that it feels like with the fandom wars that are going on internally, if you're someone that maybe is just wanting to get introduced to Star Wars and you don't really know what it's about, of course, you know about Darth Vader and you know about Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han Solo, you know them, but you don't really know the full trajectory of the story. It's as though you go in, you see the fandom and you see half of the fandom acting one way and then you see the other half of the fandom acting another way. Some people might be turned off and it's like, well, it's going to be a deuces. It's going to be a wrap on that. And that's very unfortunate because if you want something to continue to thrive and you want for there to be more stories that are coming out, you're going to have to definitely continue to reach newer and newer audiences. You're going to have to reach younger audiences as well. Not saying that you have to only cater to like 10-year-olds or anything like that, but I'm saying that as the generations continue to be produced, you're going to have to keep the storylines going and flowing. So yes, at the end of the day, overall, I feel like, you can say the same thing about the Disney Princess live action remakes or just the live action remakes in general. That's very much so been happening where the live action remake may stay very similar to the animated movie and then people don't like that. Or it's different from the animated movie and people don't like that as well. So it honestly kind of just is what it is. And I do think that with the rise of social media and with clickbaity titles and people know that being triggered to a certain degree, not in all cases, but to a certain degree, it can cause for, more views because a lot of people like to see people hyped up, like to see people getting agitated and stuff like that. But, this is a fictional, Star Wars is a fictional world. These are fictional characters. We are never going to meet Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia or Han Solo ever in our lives unless we go to Disneyland or Disney World or you're downtown in New York City and Manhattan. Then you'll see the characters and it'll be fun, probably. But yeah, it's just really, it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity, especially when it comes to those lightsaber battles. Like I said, this is the best. The fights that we got, episode 5 will go down in history. Episode 5 of The Acolyte, regardless of if you love the show or you hated it, episode 5 will go down in history as some of the best lightsaber choreography that we have gotten, like I said, in over a decade, in years. So yes, that will continue to stand. And also characters like Qimir, his character has definitely cemented his presence within the Star Wars franchise. I don't know how you can create such an incredible character like Qimir and kind of just write him off. Creating such an interestingly complex character that is doing his own thing, has his own mind, is very powerful, such a skilled fighter, has met someone that was created by a virgin, someone made by the Force. You could have a dark side couple in the Star Wars universe, two people that are just insanely powerful working together. And if they were to continue to build upon that emotional attachment, just have it, they could have done so much with the season 2. So in all honesty, I'm not completely sure if the verdict is completely out and that we're not going to be getting an Acolyte season 2, or if this is just what, you know, that major source has been saying, you know. But yeah, if we don't get a season 2, at the end of the day, there are more than enough people in the Acolyte fandom, because people tried to make it seem as though no one liked the Acolyte, or tried to make it seem as though there were only 3 people on planet Earth that liked the Acolyte. That is not true, because the Renew the Acolyte has definitely been trending on Twitter or X, and with the amount of fan fiction that has come out, with the amount of artwork that is consistently being produced, we know that the Acolyte does have a stable fan base. So we're just gonna have to continue to use that creativity and make it work for us. If you're someone like me that is Reylo, we've kind of been through this before, but in a different way. And the Reylo community is still here, still present. And the Acolyte community, and of course the Oshamir community, will continue to be here as well. So yeah, I guess that's basically most of my thoughts and opinions on the news. I do actually remember hearing someone reading someone on X saying like, hey, if you don't want to call it Acolyte season 2, call it, you know, something else. And I agree with that. If you don't want to call it Acolyte season 2, at least bring back Qimir and Osha in another future Star Wars series, or just change the name. It's like, oh, it's not the Acolyte because y'all didn't like that. Apparently you didn't like the name, maybe, I don't know, but let's call it something else. And people would be on board for it. People I feel like would be on board to see what could potentially be introduced. Plagueis, you can't introduce Plagueis in the Acolyte and then just be like, well, there's a wrap on that. That's the end of that story. We're done. That would be like, huh? It seemed like it wouldn't make sense. It would not make sense. So yeah, I keep on talking, but essentially those are my thoughts and opinions on the show. And do not fret, I have more Oshamir content that is going to be coming out. So definitely subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of that. And I will be talking about other things in the future as well, so stay tuned. Hit the bell for notifications so that you guys can see when I do post my upcoming videos. Also, like the video, please, to help me with the YouTube algorithm. And once again, leave me some comments down below to let me know your thoughts and opinions on this whole bit of news that was just released yesterday evening. So with that, as always, I'm going to say, may the Force continue to be with us all, and have a wonderful, wonderful, positive day. Bye, guys.